The hosts of bracketology are experts in nothing. They claim no advanced knowledge or profound insights. Instead, they are just three judgmental idiots who really like to bloviate their own opinions whenever given the chance. Take what they have to say with a grain of salt, or not at all. You'll probably be better off that way.
So we've made it through a few brackets at this point. We've gotten through Serial. We've gotten through 80s comedy movies. We've also gotten through our first mini bracket, which was Creepiest Cryptid. If you haven't heard that, go check it out. It's time that we start expanding our listenership a little bit. So we have been working. Yeah. Tell a friend.
Or seven.
We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're on all the other podcast places.
YouTube
and we're
now.
also on YouTube,
You
which
get
is
to look
fun.
at these three ugly faces on YouTube.
In addition to that, we have reached out and started working with some other smaller podcasters like ourselves. So we just wanted to give a shout out to some of them, as well as some of our favorite podcasts that we listen to regularly. So Coast Files is a podcast by three lovely humans that really are talking about what? I'm being inclusive.
It's very broad. My podcast is hosted by automatons, but we'll get to that later.
Anyway, it is a true crime podcast that is about the water, the coast. So a lot of their episodes relate to murders or unexplained kind of mysteries that surround or are around the water. So go check them out. In addition, who knows? Maybe some collaboration in the future. Who the fuck knows? So again, Coast Files, check them out. They started about the same time as we did, strangely enough. So they have almost the same number of episodes. And I think, if I remember correctly, their release day is the same as ours, which is Wednesdays.
So you have two great things to look forward to every Wednesday. You're welcome.
Every Wednesday. One of them is Scott staring at you directly in the soul by looking directly at his camera, which freaks me the fuck out.
You so much.
I don't know why, man. It just. Ugh. In addition to that, we can talk a little bit about some of our favorite podcasts. So if you're listening to this one, check out Doughboys, my favorite podcast, hosted by Nick Weiger and Mike Mitchell on Headgum Network, and they are all about fast food or chain restaurants. So that's fun. Works for the three of us.
Wait a second. Is that really what their podcast is about?
Yeah, it's about chain restaurants.
All this time you've talked about it and how funny it is and everything. I don't think I ever actually knew what the premise was.
It is so good. The first episode, if I remember properly, was reviewing Chili's.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty good.
They do Red Lobster. They do an episode at a Red Lobster during All You Can Eat Shrimp.
So fun fact, I briefly had aspirations. I started a Facebook page, I think, a blog type thing, and I think even made a TikTok of doing like a food-based review channel type thing called Limited Edition Eats. That was all focused on like going to the grocery stores and getting like limited edition Oreos or limited edition potato chip flavors or limited edition cereal, or going out to like, Taco Bell and getting whatever the current limited edition thing is. And like just doing reviews of only that, like it had to be a, limited time exclusive type thing. So something that revolves around chain restaurants and like what that could be sounds pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it is quite hilarious. Plus they have segments, including one called Snack or Whack, where they do basically that.
See, well, there we go. I wanted a whole podcast around it.
Dan, you got any favorite podcasts you want to shout out?
With you two.
I mean, so most of the podcasts that I listen to are sports related. So I'll give a shout out to Louis T Network. Not only does he do great Washington Commanders stuff, but he also has this channel called Music Head University. So it's really cool to get his perspective on music, where that's literally all he does, break that down. But yeah, Louis T Network.
Yes. I am a bit of a stan for the McElroy family, for being honest. I started, my gateway drug was my brother, and me. For those of you who don't know, the McElroy family, it's three brothers, Justin, Travis, and Griffin. They started with my brother, and me, a weekly quote unquote advice podcast that they really started just to be able to like keep in touch more often and like give them a reason to talk to each other on a regular basis as they moved out across the country. They started that, it's over 10 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe. I don't even know. They're well into it at this point. They expanded from that and brought their dad in and started another podcast called The Adventure Zone. It's a D&D real play podcast. They've done multiple seasons of it. The first one is amazing. I kind of want to get a tattoo that represents it because it was such a cool story, and I like what they did with it. And then each brother also has like their own individual podcast that they host with their wife. I only listened to 2 of the 3 of those, Sawbones and Wonderful. So yeah. And then even like they also have like little other side projects, and I've listened to a lot of those too. So yeah, anything with them in it makes for great podcast content. That's my go-to right now.
Yeah. I think we really just wanted to take a couple minutes to give our recommendations. We listen to people talk all the time. So also just check out podcasts. Just look through the list and see what sounds interesting and grab one.
Yeah, you'll be surprised what you find. The craziest thing I've listened to, Spotify had 2, maybe 3 now, like Batman series on there that they, not traditional just talking head podcasts, but they're like actual kind of like the old radio serials with the talking, like people just doing voices, and that's how you know who the characters are. It was really cool. Those are really cool.
Yeah. And
I'm not something I would have expected to enjoy, but I tried one out just on a random whim and right down that rabbit hole.
Man, it hits my need for audiobooks, like it takes longer for me to find audiobooks that I enjoy than it does podcasts, but those they're almost like radio shows, like legitimate radio series, which is a lot of fun. On that note, we also have at least one correction that we need to talk about from our finale from the 1980s comedy movies.
Ooh, wait, do we know who's? Well, you know who's wrong. Do you?
All of us.
We were all wrong.
We were all wrong.
Oh, that's not surprising. Okay,
but
go ahead.
I think that it was because of a particular thing that we all just kind of hung on to. So I'm going to show you all a photo on my phone because that's the best way to be able to provide it.
I mean, let's do it.
You remember this?
Oh,
Everlast.
So that's the chastity belt.
Yeah.
From Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh, we totally referenced the wrong movie for that part.
So Carrie Ellis still
reached out to us directly.
Not a huge deal, but kind of a big deal in that it seemed to be a pretty strong point in the favor of The Princess Bride.
Seriously, I threw that out there and y'all just laughed right along.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we were all wrong. However, the fact still remains Princess Bride would have won, regardless.
Yeah, no, I don't think it changes anything. But it does further reinforce our opening where that kind gentleman tells you we're experts in nothing.
Straight up.
Not even the topics we're talking about.
Half of the reason that I wanted to bring up corrections is to prove that point. Because A, I didn't realize it until B, somebody listened to that episode today, and C, texted me saying, y'all are idiots. This was from Robin Hood.
I mean, look, I think reality is if we had more than an average of 24 listeners per episode, we probably would have been corrected many more times up to this point. Yeah. So, we appreciate all 24 of you, but
can we get it to 28?
I'm sure we've said more things wrong than just that. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Bracketology, the podcast that definitively decides all things tournament bracket style. I am your co-host, Scott Grubb.
I am your second co-host, Matt Robison.
And I am your third co-host, Dan Default.
This week, we dive into yet another mini mystery bracket.
Ooh, that's mystery noise. Ooh.
As heard on Scooby-Doo.
It's the exhaust of the mystery machine. Ooh.
It's driving away, puttering away. Smoke billowing out the windows for some reason. Gentlemen, what are we talking about?
It's a good question, Scott. That is a wonderful question. You know we don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, we have no idea, Scott. We're waiting on
Right.
you.
That's right. My co-hosts have no idea what bracket they are about to judge. The only way to decide is by judging. The only way to judge is by bracketing. And the only way to begin is by beginning. Yeah, I got to throw a little tip of the hat to Sam Rice and Game Changer over at Dropout. Because did you see that's Emmy nominated?
No shit.
Yeah, they got Emmy nominated for it. I think for Best Game Show and Best Host. I'm super excited for it.
Good for him, man.
It's so good. But anyway, let's see here. Let me share my screen so you can.
Let me share my screen.
There we go. Think you can see that now?
I can see that.
All right, hold on. Now I got to be able to see you guys. Okay, there we go. Gentlemen, the thing I'm going to have y'all judging on this bracket today is it's a long-standing tradition in some platforms and professions. I think it has a long and vibrant history, both pros and cons with it. I want you all, while you were going through it, to take things into consideration like girth. We're going to bring back from Serial Sog Factor, rideability.
Oliver does not like the Sog Factor.
and follicle count. Gentlemen, you will be determining sexiest mustache.
Oh.
Our first matchup. Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
Versus Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
Oh.
Sexiest mustache.
Cannot believe you put Hulk Hogan's fucking mustache. This is the creepiest bracket.
This is the most Scott bracket I could possibly imagine.
I've been so excited for this for so many days.
All right.
And I'm so glad we're doing video now. It just makes it better.
Are we doing per matchup that you're going to reveal, or are you revealing?
I think I would like to do per matchup. I think spreading out the reveal sounds like the way Sexiest Mustache has been done.
Sure. All right. So, Dan, let's start. Question to you. Which one of those do you want to ride?
Hulk Hogan has handlebars.
That's true, but Tom Selleck's is way less racist. So
that is accurate. That is true.
As far as you know.
Yeah, that's true. Tom Selleck is at least not racist in public like Hulk Hogan.
On video, on the stand.
On video, while he's... Never mind.
Gonna have to go with Tom Selleck. His mustache is iconic, right? When people say the word mustache, one of the first images that comes to your mind is Tom Selleck.
Yeah. Second, only to Dan.
Oh, no. Please tell me that's not on this list.
I really, so today, the day we're recording this, Dan, for some reason, decided it was a good idea to share with Matt and I a series of pictures from where he attempted to grow facial hair during the COVID times. Mm-hmm. And the first picture was of the most Reno 911 ass looking mustache I've ever seen in my life. And I tell you what, man, I really debated putting it on here at the number 7 spot. I thought about it. Now, it still would have been above Hulk Hogan.
I think before I kind of cast my vote and we put this in here, 2 things. One, Dan, I'd like to propose to you, if we get 100 listens to this episode,
ooh,
can we release your mustache photo on Instagram?
100 listens, your mustache photo goes public.
If we get 100 listens, sure.
All right.
We're gonna have to make like a blurred, digitized teaser photo to put up. All right. Oh my gosh.
I can do that. That's easy. I can.
This just got real, folks.
All right. Okay.
The things we do for the podcast.
Now, I do think there are a couple things. Staring at these mustaches for too long is truly
creepy.
like
so
looking
bad.
into the sun.
Oh man.
When you think sexy, and you think anytime between 1979 and 2000, you think Tom Selleck. You can't, like, truly. You guys watched Friends. Him being in Friends is the best until he comes back a year later with no fucking mustache, and it's the worst thing in the world. Tom Selleck needs a mustache. With that mustache, he becomes one of the sexiest men in the world. That's just it. Also, fuck Hulk Hogan.
yeah, fair enough. All right, next.
You should also have us guess whose mustache this is.
Okay, I like it.
No.
Nope, curveball. Next
Those
matchup.
are the two most famous mustaches I know.
Oh, there's at least one more, you know.
Here you go. Number 4 and number 5.
Eddie Murphy and the guy from Jimmy Kimmel?
Okay. Dan, would you like to wager any guesses?
I mean, I don't think that the top one... Well, that might be Eddie Murphy, but I don't think that he's right on the bottom one. I have no idea who the bottom one is.
You're both right. Number 4 is Eddie Murphy. Number 5, Alex Trebek.
Oh, Trebek. Ah. I Garfunkel's your mother, Trebek. That's a Sean Connery SNL skit.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right. To me, this one's, oh, fuck. It was going to be easy when I thought that was the random guy from Jimmy Kimmel.
Guillermo.
That's his name.
Yeah.
I could never remember his name. I don't know, man. Eddie Murphy's got an iconic stash. But Alex Trebek, again, is similar to Selleck. Like, without the mustache, is he Trebek?
I will come right out and say that he is absolutely still Trebek. It was shocking. It made headlines. It was difficult to digest, but he was still Trebek enough to be Trebek.
Yeah. Still had the sass. Still had the... Yeah, this is a difficult one.
I'll say, going back to what you guys were talking about with Tom Selleck when he shaved, and then just the idea of a shaven Hulk Hogan, those two have to have their mustaches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
These two don't necessarily.
Both of them have had long... Yeah, they've had long stints without their mustaches.
But this isn't most iconic mustache. It's sexiest mustache.
Sexiest.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for reeling the conversation back in.
I'm legitimately, look, I am an expert in nothing and I take everything too seriously. I want to throw out a couple of things. All right. Girth. So
it was one of the factors.
It's one of the factors. Eddie Murphy, in that photo at least, not a whole lot, right? Not a lot of volume. Not a lot of volume. I don't know, but is it sexy to have more or less volume in a mustache?
I mean, I feel like more, right?
Okay, all right. In addition, I got to think about the face behind the mustache. And Eddie Murphy's a hot piece of ass. You know what I mean? Say what you want. The dude is an attractive man. But so's Alex Trebek. Alex Trebek's also got them smarts. You know what I mean? I think I have my vote, but Dan, tell me what your thoughts are. I'd also like, you know what? Never mind.
I mean, it really comes down to being honest, look at those pictures. Neither one of them is impressive to me in terms of a mustache. Like that weird bald spot on Eddie Murphy. Alex Trebek, when I think of him, I just don't think of a mustache. That one isn't that impressive. So it comes down to sexiest person that it's on. And it's really between brains and comedy.
What do you find sexier?
I mean,
I cannot wait for you to answer this and for your fiance to listen.
well,
This
my
is the best
fiance
conversation I could have forced you guys to have.
my fiance is a beautiful mix of both brains and comedy. She is the perfect mix.
And her
But if
mustache is the perfect girth.
You said that, not
Yeah,
me.
that was Scott. I want to highlight.
But I'm gonna have to go brains for 200, Alex.
I thought that this was going to be a fight. I think sexiness, intelligence, man. Alex Trebek.
All right.
Alex Trebek. Although I do love Eddie Murphy, but Alex Trebek.
All right. Next round.
Oh, okay. Those are
Well, Steve Harvey on the bottom.
yeah.
For fuck's sake, you could not have picked a creepier photo.
I put a lot of time into finding the best photos.
There's
It's-
more. His teeth are so white. There's more
It's
of
just
that.
all teeth and mustache.
There's more of that in that photo than the white in Hulk Hogan's whole mustache.
His teeth are so large. Let me
Oh,
just
that's
say,
Jeff Foxworthy.
No.
Every photo I found was like that. His teeth are just so large.
All right, that may not be
The
Jeff
top
Foxworthy.
mustache is Sam Elliott.
That is correct. We have
Yeah.
Sam Elliott versus Steve Harvey.
Who the fuck is Sam Elliott?
Oh, dude, come on. He was the narrator in The Big Lebowski.
Never
all
seen
of those.
He was okay.
Did you ever watch Parks and Rec?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember Evil Ron? Like the hippie Ron that loved, like nuts and was into recycling and veganism. In the show, his last name was Dunn, and he had a conversation with Ron, and Ron asked him what his name is, and he goes, Dunn. And Ron goes, do you mean that's your last name or the end of this conversation? Both.
Both. Yeah.
So after that incredible, you know what? I'm just gonna Google it. What's his name? Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
He was in that Netflix
Oh, I know this. Guy.
ranch show with
You
Ashton
could have
Kutcher.
said that. I'd have had it immediately.
Really? That's what it would have gotten it for you immediately?
Funny
Yeah.
thing is, I never have watched an episode of that show, but I've seen the cover on Netflix so much that
I can't look at my screen without seeing
That's
Harvey's
so-
teeth
here's the problem.
and getting cracked up again. Yes.
My immediate gut is to go with Steve Harvey,
Mm.
but I don't want to see more of that photo. Don't get me wrong, Steve. You're hilarious if you listen, and we know that you do. I don't know. I mean, the Sam Elliott mustache is it takes you back to older, simpler times. You know what I mean? Makes you think of the Wild West in a way.
I don't know if I would call those times simpler when dysentery,
It's a
you could literally die while shitting.
quick way to die.
Can I? No. Can I throw there? Sam Elliott's mustache looks terribly uncomfortable to me because it curls
sit
back
on, or-
in. No. No, it looks very cushiony to sit on. But to own, because it curls back in on the lip. And
Yeah.
that annoys me so much.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be able to take a bite of anything without it being. He's going to have a constant little line of food.
Of little
slop.
crumbs. Oh,
Yeah.
you know what?
Now,
That's a good point.
Discussing rideability, though, Steve Harvey looks like it'd be a coarse, uncomfortable, like sandpaper kind
Like a
of
Brillo.
ride.
The Brillo pad
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and take that out.
with those.
He keeps it so short.
He does.
Yeah.
He keeps it very short.
It seems like it would be a very toothy ride.
Bumpy. It'd be bumpy.
All right. Here's the challenge. I want one of our listeners
Hmm.
to take this photo and put one of Steve Harvey's mustaches on every tooth.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Steve Harvey.
Oh man, split
he-
decision because I'm going Sam Elliott.
I think that
His voice.
his voice isn't his mustache, Dan.
That's not the mustache.
I'm just saying it's a superior looking mustache to me.
I feel like you're looking past the mustache.
It is a fuller mustache without the creepy smile.
All right. Well, I mean, I have to respect when somebody can make. Well, I mean, that's kind of the case in all of these. I feel like if you took just like a kind of oval shape,
Mm-hmm.
and then you put Steve Harvey's mustache in the middle of it,
Mm-hmm.
and made it like a production company logo, everyone would know that's Steve Harvey's production company. I think that girth and that shape are just too much of his personality for it to be ignored. I think as a tiebreaker vote, I think Steve Harvey has to move forward.
Oh man, yeah. Sorry, I just Googled Steve Harvey production company to see if that exists. It doesn't, but I found a photo of Steve Harvey with a like full beard, like salt and pepper.
Uh-huh.
He's aged well, man. He is aged very well.
All right.
It's good.
Last matchup of round one.
What the fuck is that?
I have
Is that Ron Jeremy? One of these has to be Burt Reynolds, right?
I think the top one's Burt Reynolds.
That's what I thought at first.
Yeah.
You're correct. Yeah, of course Burt Reynolds is going to be in here. Yes,
Yeah,
number two, Burt
that
Reynolds.
makes sense. I didn't even think about the rankings, but yeah.
I have no idea who 7 is.
Is it Mr.
I'll tell you what.
Potato Head?
I will Venmo you $500 right now if you're able to tell me who number 7 is.
Can you give us a direction at least?
I don't know how to do one that's not going to be too. I'm trying to find a sweet spot between vague and.
I got it.
Uh-huh.
It's fucking Freddie Mercury.
How did you get it?
Because I got it. It was the mustache.
His teeth.
I feel like you cheated.
You owe me $500, bitch.
I feel like you cheated.
How did I cheat? My hands were in my lap.
I feel like you used some kind of image recognition or something. Anyway, yes. Number 7, Freddie Mercury.
Oh, man. That is a fucking difficult matchup. How dare you? What?
Matt's hands were busy preparing for the mustache ride.
Got to warm up. That is a difficult decision because Freddie Mercury is an icon.
Mm-hmm.
And Burt Reynolds isn't?
Hold on.
Okay.
Freddie Mercury is an icon in every sense of the word. Blazing trails all over the place. Burt Reynolds, also an icon. He doesn't touch my heart as much as Freddie Mercury does. But does he touch the pants?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about the person. It's about the stash.
Says the guy who literally hasn't voted on the mustache the entire time.
What do you mean? Sam Elliott has a superior mustache. Tom Selleck has a superior mustache.
Clearly he doesn't because... Wait, who? Tom Selleck? Is that who you just said? Sorry.
Yeah, he said Sam Elliott and then jumped up to Tom Selleck.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are the two people I voted literally for the mustache for.
Man. I don't know. Dan, tell me your thoughts. You've been conspicuously quiet this episode.
So you're right about Freddie Mercury just being so iconic, right? If this was the person I'd like to hang out with the most or person I'd like to catch a beer with the most, he's going to get the win. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Sexiest Mustache. And I mean, to me, Tom Selleck with that mustache.
But we're talking about Burt Reynolds now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I meant. Burt Reynolds.
That's why I was confused. So
I mean, I would go eastbound and down on that mustache. Just saying.
Oh, man.
I'm going to need both of you right now and every listener to Google Burt Reynolds without a mustache.
No.
No, that's okay.
Kind of looks
I
like
don't need that
Pedro
image.
Pascal a little bit.
I could see that.
Just a little bit. So you're voting for Burt Reynolds?
Yes.
You know what? I'm going to vote Freddie Mercury and make Scott.
It's 100% Burt Reynolds. You're an idiot for thinking otherwise.
I can't believe you put Freddie Mercury at 7. That is an iconic stash, bro.
I mean, it's something. All right. Now we circle back.
So,
Time for round 2.
Creepy.
Round 2's first matchup. Tom Selleck versus Alex Trebek.
I see an inevitable path.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
So do I. Love Alex Trebek. Respect the shit out of Jeopardy. Tom Selleck was a sex symbol up until his 4th season on Blue Bloods.
Oh, I was going to say, is he not still?
I mean, for some people, I think so. But for the masses, I think for a very long time, realistically.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Alex Trebek, love the guy. Never met him, but I've heard he was good. But the intelligence only gets you so far. I got to go with Selleck.
Yeah, I mean, when Tom Selleck advanced, it was based on the mustache being a little bit better than Eddie Murphy's and the fact that brains outweighed comedy. But you can't compete against that mustache.
Sure. Yeah, we're going to pretend that you said Alex Trebek to start that entire sentence.
What did I say?
Tom Selleck.
You said Tom Selleck.
Yeah, I'm tired. Well, Tom Selleck gets the win.
Tom Selleck for the win.
All right.
Go with the Selly. Get that Magnum mustache.
Second matchup, round 2. Steve Harvey versus Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, it's Burt Reynolds.
Very little question or debate, just straight to Burt Reynolds. Huh?
I mean, look, Steve, I just really don't want to see those teeth on this bracket. No, that's not true. I mean, Steve Harvey's great, but again, international sex icon is Burt Reynolds, especially early on in his career, but all the way through, people love Burt Reynolds. He's a sexy man.
All right.
I think, wasn't he in Playgirl?
Yes, he was.
Did you all ever see the video? It was a talk show. I can't remember.
Yeah, I know
Burt
exactly
Reynolds
what you're talking about.
And the host of Double Dare
Mark
from
Summers.
Mark
Nickelodeon.
Summers, yeah.
Yeah.
So
got into a fight.
Mark Summers is an incredible germaphobe, apparently, which is ironic considering the shows that he worked on Nickelodeon. But he was an incredible germaphobe, and Burt Reynolds was on first. I think it was on Jay Leno. I think it was the Tonight Show. And Burt Reynolds does his interview, and then they bring out Mark Summers, and Burt has to scooch down the couch like you normally do on the Tonight Show. And fucking Jay Leno is conversing, and it might have been, I think it was Jay Leno. Anyway, the host was conversing with Mark Summers so much, and Burt was just pissed off. He was just angry, and so he started throwing ice on Mark Summers, and it was just, and then they brought pies out.
Yeah, it escalated.
And Mark Summers didn't throw the pie on Burt. No, he tried to, but I think Burt Reynolds hits him first, and then he tries to, and Burt Reynolds karate blocks it. It's an insane video. Everybody should look that up. Weird rivalries of the 90s and 2000s. All right. we've got the Magnum versus
The Bandit.
the Bandit.
The Bandit, yeah.
I mean,
this is tough.
Bert's got better shape, I feel like, because he's
Mhm.
got that around the nose, the septum,
And the little curl.
and the little
down.
curl at the end. But it doesn't do like, and no offense to Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey's in that photo like goes all the way around and curls. But Bert's just kind of curls a little bit and then stops. It's well groomed.
Mm-hmm.
Selleck's got more girth. That's going to be a fucking caption.
Dude, I'm going to have so many captions out of this episode. I'm going to promote the hell out of this episode.
So, Matt, the real question that you need to ask yourself is which one has the best SOG factor for you? Which mustache?
Well, in this case,
Mm-hmm.
I think the SOG factor has to do with which one am I more scared of. So which one am I sweating the most?
Which one's going to absorb that sweat?
That's an option. I don't know, man. I think my gut. Never mind.
What do you feel in your loins?
Yeah.
Down in
Don't
the
listen
loins.
to your gut. Go further south.
My body. My body is telling me Selleck,
Selleck.
but my mind. Wait, heart? What is it?
Heart, probably.
I don't know that song.
I don't know.
I think I got to go Selleck, man. I think just lasting power. That
Mhm.
stash it's going to be like a footprint on the moon. It'll always be there.
All right. Well, I'm going Reynolds
Oh, balls. You fuckers.
Uh,
because I want to see who Scott's going to vote for.
This is going
This
to
backfired.
This is going to become a problem with these mini
Oh,
brackets.
I didn't see this backfiring like this. Look. I mean, Tom Selleck is going to be able to absorb quite a bit
All that SOG.
Yeah,
of whatever
all the
you
song.
throw at it. Whatever the SOG is, his factor is higher. And it's got some girth, sure.
Mhm.
If you hear a butt
Maybe-
coming on,
Yeah. I hate that I agreed with that so quickly. However,
oh, okay.
I'd be remiss if I didn't just say that Burt Reynolds' mustache is just somehow slightly more charming. It carries a level of charm that I feel like the other mustaches just lack.
Does this have anything to do with your love of Smokey and the Bandit?
It might also be related to the fact that I've seen Smokey and the Bandit enough times that I can recite the movie line for line as it's playing. And it might have something to do with the fact that I do have a Smokey and the Bandit Burt Reynolds Funko Pop that sits in my desk.
I think that it's more your favorite movie, Deliverance.
And I do think it has something to do with the fact that my mom would strike me down if I did not say that Burt Reynolds is the sexiest mustache alive, or not alive anymore. Sexiest mustache of all time. Burt Reynolds is the sexiest mustache.
Well,
of
now
all
hold
time.
on. We can't. I don't know if
The
we can
smoked.
definitively say of all
It
time.
is we definitively
have
decide
anybody
all
here
things.
from ancient Greece.
We definitively decide all things tournament bracket style. And we have now determined that
It doesn't,
he has the sexiest mustache of all time.
it doesn't say of all time. It just says sexiest mustache. What's up with that?
Listen. Sexiest mustache, Burt Reynolds. It is decided.
All right. So Bert's estate, Scott's check can be sent to.
He does not need us. His mustache does not even need us. Just the follicles of hair under his nose and above his lip. They do not need us. His mustache alone has more selling power and buying power, for that factor, than the three of us combined. It's probably insured for more than anything we own. Or, well, it was anyway.
Well, on that note, Scott owes me $500. And,
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
And Tom Selleck got robbed. So thanks for joining us this week.
Yeah.
I don't think you can put it that way. Tom Selleck wasn't robbed. No one's saying that Tom Selleck doesn't have a great mustache.
You ranked the mustaches. Why did you put Selleck first?
Because when you start to look up actors with mustaches or whatever, when you my dark, dirty Google history now, his comes up first on most of those searches.
Next time Scott goes to Pornhub, it's going to be mustache rides.
You're all mustaches.
That's a category. Mustache rides. They have to have mustaches. Mm-hmm. Anyway, oh man, I'm regretting doing this now. It backfired on me in spectacular fashion. With all that being said, congrats again to Burt Reynolds' mustache for being sexiest mustache. We want to thank you all for, I don't know.
Not even to Burt Reynolds. Burt Reynolds' mustache.
No. Yeah, that's what won. Thank you all for listening, putting us on in the background while you vacuum your dining room table. We always appreciate all the listeners. Remember, again, 100 listens on this episode. Share it with a friend. Share it with multiple friends.
Shit.
Because believe me, you do want to see Dan with COVID mustache. I
forgot about that.
I'll raise the stakes a little bit. Okay. 100 listens to this episode. Dan's COVID mustache comes out to the public. 250 listens to this episode.
That's a steep jump.
250 listens to this episode. Scott will have a mustache for the remainder of this year.
That's
500 500 listens to this episode.
500 mustaches.
Hold on. 500 listens to this episode. Mm-hmm. All three of us will grow a mustache and have nothing else for the remainder of the year.
Does that include clothes?
No, we can wear clothes.
Okay. Anyway, that's 10 times and then 20 times. Okay, our current listener. So you got to share it with 10 friends. Share it with 20 friends. Share it with 10 friends and then have them all share it with 2 friends.
Yeah, let's get a pyramid scheme.
This is also going to be across all the platforms. So Spotify. I don't know how to look up Apple. YouTube. I can look up those two and see how many.
Perfect. Anyway, so share with a friend and so they can put it on in the background while they vacuum their dining room tables. Thank you, as usual, to Aaron O'Donnell from Aaron O'Donnell Music on YouTube for the track that we use at the beginning, middle, and end of our show. Check us out on all the socials if you haven't already. We are at Bracketology, BRACKETALLOGY. You can find us on X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
And we're streaming.
And we're streaming on Twitch now.
We will play video games. We will just talk to each other. You can come watch. Actually, we haven't done that yet, but I'm just suggesting it now as just kind of like a get together, coffee with a buddy. None of us drink coffee though.
Nope.
You know what? I'm gonna step back from this. We do stream.
Yeah. You can find Matt at Bracketology. We're going to fix that soon to Bracketology_Matt.
As soon as we figure out how.
Twitch. No, we know how. Twitch just won't let you do it for a month. And then you can find me on there at Bracketology_Scott. We're still trying to convince Dan to buy a gaming PC. And yeah, you can also email us directly, bracketologypodcast@gmail.com. If you have any suggestions for future episodes or topics, etc., send them our way. We love to get all the great feedback. Dan, how about a little preview? What do we have next week?
Well, next week we have another super fun surprise mini bracket. I do not have a good teaser without giving it away. So yeah, I'm just going to say it's a super surprise mystery mini bracket.
Sexiest Soul Patch?
It is not.
Look,
I don't think
1,000
there's-
listeners to this episode, and we'll all do soul patches. We're gonna have to glue Dan's on, but
Yeah. I mean, it grows a little bit right there. All right. Well, anyway, thank you for listening.
Yeah, as usual. Thank you all for listening again to Bracketology. We'll see you next week. My name is Scott.
my name's Matt.
My name's Dan.
Bye bye.